this very special is at the same time our last shoot with regard to our LALITO Kingsize project. In comparison to, let's say, the Alps, the Kilimanjaro or the Mount Everest, my so-called king-size lithostones are sooner the skin flakes of Mother Earth. So therefore we need a reference frame. Well, here it is. My smallest and cutest lithostone. Notice this picture. You'd rather say this is hardly to draw. Now that's what this last film is all about. Reduction. You could say the opposite of king-size lithography. Well, what we see here is what the French call a machine à réduire. So for making reductions of images on stone, because a lot of stones or lithographers were not capable to make very small drawings on stone because of the crayons and because of the pencils and brushes and things like that. And engravers had not that problem. So wood engravers, steel engravers, and also finally the stone engravers, they could make very small drawings, but with the normal cranes it was not possible. So Mr. Foujadoir, he invented this machine before photography was invented. So reduction and enlarging of images after photography was invented was no problem anymore, but before it was a problem, so he invented this. Now what you see here is a kind of tenter in which you put a rubber, and you can make the rubber bigger and smaller. You have an X and you have an Y axis, and with the thing which we see there, we can make them move both, so that your rubber is getting larger and larger till the moment that you want to have it. I'm going to show it. So now it's moving in both sides. The lockers I unlocked the corners, they're loose now. So the rubber is getting bigger and bigger. You have to follow it a bit like this. You have to do this by hand a little bit. If you continue, and then at a certain moment I say, okay, for me this enlargement is okay. More I do not need. The next step is that I have to fasten those four corners. This one, this one, this one, this one. Okay? Once I have done this, I am able to take this whole thing out. You see? Now I have the whole rubber in a stretched situation. I have taken it out. I can put it here. Why do I need this like this? I'm going to put this a bit here. Because I want to make from this image, I want to make a reduction. Alright? So I'm going to put the reduction stone, or I'm going to put the stone here, and I'm going to put this over my stone. You see 4 feet here, and I can turn them to adjust the rubber to the surface of the stone. I need the rubber at, let's say, 1/2 centimeter above the stone, okay? So then, and I'm not going to do that, but you can imagine that this is going to happen. This is going to be on a smaller press. I put a tympan on and I pass it through the press, and then the image which is on this stone is on the other side of the rubber. There's one thing that I should tell, which I forgot. Before you put the rubber inside that frame, you put a gum on. And you do this because you want to use this rubber several times. Now, to avoid that the printing ink, or the retransfer ink I should say, will be placed here on this rubber, I prefer to have already a gum layer on the rubber to avoid that the ink is going into the rubber, and so I can use it a second time and a third time, that always I work with a clean rubber. So this I forgot to tell you. This is necessary for the whole process. The stone, which is underneath here, is inked with a retransfer ink. So the retransfer ink is when the whole thing has been passed by the press, is on your rubber beneath. Then I go back with the whole thing to the press. No, not to the press. To Mr. Foujadoir. And I can place it back in the system, I hope. The tenter is back in the frame now. The first thing that I have to do is to loosen the corners. No risk for it because it is in this frame. Okay. And now I'm going to reduce my rubber by going in the other direction. And at a certain moment I say, okay, this is what I need. And then I'm ready with it. Okay. So this is what I need for now. And then here we go again. We fasten the corners. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to a freshly ground stone. I'm going to put this over and I'm going to adjust the feet to be at the good height. So I have to go down farther and farther, and then the same thing, I go back to my little press. I put a tympan on and I print the image which is on the under the rubber. I'm going to print on the stone, and then I have my reduction, what I wanted to have. Okay. All right, now the thing is done. I have a reduced image on my stone, and I put this back like that, and it's ready for the next project. You have seen a reduction now, so you understand how they worked in the 19th century. And you could say, what do you want to do with it? Well, I made a project specially for this because I found it a very interesting technique. We do this not only out of curiosity or for the fun, but even more out of respect for those who gave stone lithography its splendor. I made a project specially for this reduction thing, which I'm going to show you. Now here you see the elements which were on the stone and which I put here in the clothing of this person. Well, not only me, I'm the proud owner of this awesome device, but also in the south of the Netherlands, in Valkenswaard, we have a Steendruk museum, and they also have this very interesting machine. Thanks.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end.
As you understand, this is the end. We hope to see you again in the near future with new LALITO projects, and we will thank all the followers till now, and we hope to get you back on the scene in the near future. He told me that he could without laughing. No, there is. Bye bye.